Hey, it's Phil Stacey, Executive Sports Editor at the Salem News. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our followers. We do appreciate it. Alongside me, as always, Assistant Sports Editor Matt Williams and Gloucester Times Sports Editor and former Salem News Sports Editor Nick Giannino. Gentlemen, gobble gobble and such. Happy Thanksgiving to you both.
Happy Thanksgiving to
We
Thanks.
you
are
and
Yeah.
to everyone.
here for our second annual Thanksgiving football fantasy draft. It was a big hit last year. We got a ton of comments, a ton of feedback. Not only the kids that we picked, but also the kids that we didn't pick and had banner days last year. Um, so we thought it was a lot of fun. We decided we would do it again this year, see if we can put our brains to the test and what we can do here. So let's go over the rules again real quickly here. We have 9 games in our Salem News Gloucester Times coverage area between Thanksgiving Eve and Thanksgiving Day. On the eve, we have Bishop Fenwick at St. Mary's, and then we have Marblehead Swampscott at Fenway Park, which is kind of exciting. Day of, we have Beverly Salem, Gloucester Danvers, Peabody Saugus, Masco, Northeast Regional, Hamilton Wenham against Ipswich, Essex Tech against Manchester Essex, and St. John's Prep versus Xaverian. Now, we are picking players from our schools only. So we're not taking, say, a player from Xaverian. You can only take a player from St. John's Prep, and so on. So the schools from the Salem News and Gloucester Times coverage areas. We're picking 10 players, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex players, which could be a running back or a wide receiver. I suppose technically you could take a tight end if you wanted to. I don't know how many true tight ends we have in the region, but not a quarterback for a flex. 1 defense and 1 kicker. Will, you brought up the question last year, can you take a kicker who scores points elsewhere and get those points as well? And we decided that would be kind of cheating the system. So if, say, you were to take a Joe Marino from Swampscott, you would only get his kicking points, not his receiving points, that kind of thing. Unless you took him as a receiver, and then you wouldn't get his kicking points. To go over how we score the fantasy here, we do it on this system. So every touchdown is worth 6 points, obviously. It's a PPR draft, so every reception is worth a point. You get 1 point for every 13 yards running the ball, 1 point for every 20 points receiving, and 1 point for every 50 points passing. Uh, Defense gets points for turnovers and points allowed. Points allowed would be you get 12 points if you shut out another team. You get 8 points if you allow 1 to 6 points. You get 6 points if you allow 7 to 13 points. You get 4 points if your defense allows 14 to 20. You get 2 points if they allow 21 to 27. You get 0 if they give up between 28 and 34. And if you pick the defense after 12 weeks of high school football games that we've watched that gives up 35 or more points, you're probably in the wrong line of work and you get -4 points. A block kick is worth -2 points. If you throw for over, I think we said 275 last year, you get an extra 6 points. Did we also do that for rushing and receiving last year? If you went over like 250 rushing or 200 receiving, I want to say we got bonus points.
Yeah, I think we did do bonus. I don't remember what the threshold was. It might have been 200, but whatever you guys want to do.
Seems
I'm going to say it's
that
harder to
seems
go over 200 receiving, so I'm good with that. Let's say 250 rushing
Okay.
seems
would be an
high.
extra
Who's
six
gonna?
point.
How many times in history have there been 200 yard? I mean, that feels high to me. I feel like in the NFL fantasy, the thresholds are usually 150 for receiving and 200 for rushing. But I mean, I'm okay with being stingy, I guess. I mean,
Well,
I
well,
think
let's come to a. You know what? I'm very malleable here. I
Well, how
am
many
willing to
150-yard receiving games have we got this year? Not many.
one, if that.
maybe one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean,
why don't
yeah,
we
I
do
can tell you right
150?
now, actually, if I scroll down here, let's see. We have two 150-yard receiving games this season, and we have one 200-yard rushing game this season.
Okay. So over two over 200 rushing will be an extra 6 points. Over 150 will be an extra 6 points. Coaches, feed the beast if somebody's hot on Thanksgiving and we got them.
Should we do a passing too? Maybe 300?
I said 275.
Okay, I'm good with
That
Yeah, that's
work?
that.
good.
Okay. So rush is plus 200. Okay. Um, Field goals, obviously 3 points, but if it's over 40, we'll do 5 points. Okay. I think NFL we do 50, but for this we'll
Yeah, I
do
think
over
that's for high
40.
Yeah,
school. That's
40's
reasonable.
good. And I don't think we're getting any of those, but
There
Um,
has not been one this season.
okay.
The long this season is 32.
Okay. 2 point conversions obviously count as 2 points. We said PPR, so that's about everything there. So that you guys understand the scoring, obviously. I mean, for us, it's the same as the league we're in. But just so everybody knows, that's the scoring. Okay. Gonna pick our draft order now. I have three pieces of paper here with numbers that I can see and you can't. So, guys, you pick, let's say left, center, or right, and I will take the one left over. Willie, why don't you go first?
I always like Mark Savard, so give me the center.
Okay. You have second pick.
All right.
Okay.
Numero dos.
Nino, that gives you left or right.
I'll take the left.
You have the third pick,
All right.
which worked out pretty good for me last year because I had the third pick and I won this thing.
Yeah, I mean three guys, you're gonna get some good guys. So
Yeah. All right. So let me just rework the sheet I have here for us. We have a Google sheet that will take us through pick by pick that our friends can see in real time. I am keeping where I was fortunate to win the initial one last year. I am going to keep my name as last year, which was the Fantastics. Willie, are you sticking with Nahant Seagulls?
Yep, not changing it.
Okay. And Nick, are you going with the Nino's Nighthawks?
yeah, let's ride it.
All right, let's ride on both of those. Let me clean this up here. All right, I think we are good. So I am going to share the screen, and obviously, this is a snake draft, so I'll get the first pick. Willie, a second. Nick, you get 3, 4. Willie, 5. Me, 6, 7, and so on and so on and so on here. So let's share the screen, and
Sure.
away we go. I am going to, even though I think there's another position that would really help me. Well, you know what? I kind of thought it was a done and shut case here, but yeah, I'm going to go with my gut reaction. I'm going to go with running back right off the bat and go with Mr. Jack Fabiano of Ipswich of Masconomet. Geez, excuse me. He's been a monster all year. He sat out last week to get healthy. He's back. He's ready to go for Masco's game against Northeast. He's had a great season so far for our friends in the Tri-Town area. Just putting up monster rushing numbers for them. I believe he has, what, 17 rushing touchdowns and close to 1,200 yards in the ground. He's a bell cow guy, so I'm going with Jack. Gentlemen,
All right, Willie, you're up.
All
Willie?
right, I will stick with running backs as well. I
Mhm.
am going to pound the volume. This guy's been a monster. He's had, I think, over 100 yards in 6 or 7 games, three of the last 4 games, and I think he's going to have a big day on Thanksgiving. He's the focal point of his team's offense. So volume, volume, volume. I will take Owen Shanbar of Danvers.
That was the other guy I considered taking there because I have another position for Masco I liked. And remember, we can only take one player per team here. So Willie, great pick there. He is the beast that Danvers loves to feed. Can pile up the touchdowns, and I obviously I like it. I would have been very happy choosing him number one. All right, Nick, go right ahead, my friend.
All right, I am going with a quarterback. And I'm going to take Zach Hurd of Manchester, Essex.
Another excellent pick. Yes.
He is, and it's an H in Zach.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Kind of a cheat code, really, because if I'm not mistaken, he was leading the area in rushing, the entire our
he's
area.
got 1,224 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns. That comes on only 125 attempts, so I'd have to do the math, but pretty good yard per carry right there. He's gone over 100 almost every game this season. And then he's been throwing the ball a little bit down the stretch here, the regular season and into the playoffs and non-playoff game. He's up to 750 passing yards as well. So I think it's a good bet that if Manchester's going to score points, he's going to be the one leading the charge. And they got a good matchup against Essex Tech on Thanksgiving Day.
All right. Nino, you also have the first pick of the second round. Go right ahead.
That's right.
Looks kind of
Let's
gross though,
see.
doesn't it? Nino's the Nighthawks. It should be just Nino's Nighthawks.
Oh yeah, Nino's Nighthawks, please. All right. Now, you guys got the two good backs that I would have taken. Wow, there's still some more. Let's see. Give me a minute here. Hmm.
A lot of good kickers out there, Nick, if you want to grab one now.
Yeah, kicker. Yeah. No, I think I'll go with the Peabody back there.
Which
Uh,
one?
oh no, I'm sorry. The quarterback, I'm saying. Luke Maglione.
Okay.
Give me him. I'll go two QBs to start. He's also over 1,200 passing yards on the year. I know he's got some picks, but I think they air it out a little bit in their rivalry game.
Okay. Willie?
Uh, Phil, you got to move both those guys up to the quarterback slot there.
That would help, huh?
That's interesting. The two QBs off the board. So, this is the classic thing in your drafts. Do you stack more QBs because there's not that many left? Do you stack more running backs because, the third best running back available, right, is going to give you potentially a lot of value here. And so that is really the choice. And I am kind of choosing this. There's two teams that I'm thinking of. They both have a great running back and a great quarterback. And I am going to stick with the running back, even though it gives Phil the quarterback of this team. I'm going to stick with the running back. It's going to be Jake Gilbert of Essex Tech. And the reason I worry about the quarterback is because I can't take him because I have my one Tech guy, and Nick's got his two QB slots filled. So, Phil now is allowed to wait until the very last round and grab this Essex Tech quarterback based on the rules that we have here. So
And he's a touchdown machine.
yeah, this may have been a huge miscalculation on my part, but on Turkey Day, I'm going with the senior, and I'm going to take Jake Gilbert from Essex Tech, 1,006 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns. I expect the Hawks and the Hornets to be the highest scoring game of the day. And, as much as I thought about taking Hurd, Nick grabbed him, and so I'll grab the other side. I'll take Jake Gilbert.
Okay. Um, all right, so I have two picks here. I'm gonna go with a flex pick right away because this player does damage both out of the backfield and split out wide or in the slot wherever they need him. And that's going to be Rocco Ryan of Salem. Um, I think that's going to be a good game, a competitive game, and I think you're going to see Rocco throughout that game. I also believe in doing a little bit of research. He is tied for all-time touchdowns in the Salem High football career. So you know they're going to want to get him the ball early and often. 4-year starter, last game, home turf. I think they're really going to look to get the football in Rocco's hands. And if the weather's bad, like the forecast says it's going to be, I don't really think that's going to affect him too much in terms of running the football or catching it. He could score on a kickback, a run back, or an interception. There's a lot of different ways he could score. So I'm going to go with Rocco with my second pick in that flex spot.
I
All
like
right.
it. So you can put him any way you want. You choose flex. I respect that. That's nice. You could
Yep.
always move him if you have to. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not a
Right.
big deal.
Well,
So
he is kind of a flex player too. He lines up anywhere. they'll throw him out
Yeah,
there
no,
on the big
no, yeah,
plays.
you
So
could. He'd be eligible at receiver or running
right,
back,
right,
I would
right.
think. But yeah, Phil gets another pick now, so he kicks off the third round for us with the one, two, three, four, five, seventh pick overall.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to go a little bit maybe off the board here, but again, Will, you mentioned volume, 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 and I see a lot of volume going this player's way. I'm going to fill out my running back spots as you did, Willie, and I'm going to go with Chris Schrock from Hamilton Wenham.
Hayden.
Big burly back.
It's not Chris, it's Caden.
Oh, Caden. Sorry. Yeah, geez, Chris was his dad. What am I thinking? Caden, sorry.
He was on my list as well. Good.
Yeah, great
Um,
pick.
Big burly back, can bash into the line, can beat guys to the outside. Again, if the weather is lousy, I think you're going to see him get the ball upwards of 20 times. He certainly should have some goal line opportunities. The pick there is Caden Schrock for me.
I
Willie,
like the
back
pick.
to you for your third pick. This is the eighth overall pick, second pick of the third round.
I like the pick. I like the pick. I am also gonna grab a flex player,
Okay.
and it is also gonna be a flex player from Salem, but that plays for Bishop Fenwick. It's Ty Connolly. I
Yeah, I had
think
him high on my list.
a tough decision between Ty and Dylan,
Yep,
but in the PPR format, I think there's a better chance that Ty's gonna get a few catches, has a little bit a higher floor for me. So I like Ty Connolly and what I expect to be another high scoring game between Fenwick and St. Mary's over at Manning Field on Wednesday night.
I agree. I agree. I don't know why that's dark. Maybe that makes Ty special, but there we go. All right. Nick, who are you taking with your third pick before we get to your fourth pick?
All right, I need a starting back. Feel pretty good about this one from Swampskit. I know Marblehead's got, a pretty good defense, and that might be one of the lower scoring games, but give me Henry Butler. He's a workhorse. 12 touchdowns on the year, 1,700 or 1,100 yards, almost 1,200.
Okay.
Good pick. It's a good pick.
And my next guy, hmm, who'd you go with from, you took a Fenwick guy, right?
Yeah,
Willie
Connolly.
took
Conley.
Ty Connolly from your Bishop Fenwick Crusaders.
All right, why don't I go with the other guy? He's still healthy, right? Pacioretty.
Yep,
Had
yeah,
a
good
couple
pick.
big games
Great
this
pick.
year. I feel good about that. It's a nice one too.
Absolutely, it is.
Okay. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. All right. Willie, your fourth pick.
Not exactly a lot of receivers flying off the board here, interestingly enough, which is kind of something. Kind of shows the type of season that we've had so far here on the North Shore. So I am, it's a tough decision here. I'm gonna take a receiver, and it's going to be a receiver from Marblehead. And I'll take Rylan Golden from Marblehead. I really like
Nice.
this guy. Tough. I almost took Crew Monaco, who I think is like a beast, carrying the
Yeah.
ball in the backfield a little bit, but I just like Rylan's downfield ability. He's really emerged as a big time go-to guy for the Magicians, and so I like that at my wide receiver spot.
Okay. Um, I think I might go back-to-back receivers here, to be
There you
honest with
go.
you. Let's grab Merrick Barlow from St.
Right?
John's Prep, who leads the region in yardage and receiving touchdowns. Not catches, but he's definitely leading in yards per catch. And even on a lousy day, I think they're going to get Merrick the ball. And if he gets it in space, he can really do something. Even if it's in tight windows, he seems to be able to make those catches. And I'm going to go, Willie, you took a Marblehead. I'm going to go in the other direction for the Fenway. And one of my lacrosse guys, Liam Caney of Swampscott, another
Good
volume
player.
receiver. Um, I think Swamp's just going to throw the ball a lot Wednesday night.
They didn't
And,
have
and
much
I would
choice.
think that quite a few passes will be coming Liam's way. So that will be my pick there.
Yeah, they may not have much choice in the matter as far as that goes. So,
Correct.
with that in mind,
Hopefully they're
I
dumping it
will.
off to Henry.
Well, with that in mind, I will take the quarterback, John Vombarda.
Yeah. See, that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last year, I drafted Spears, and I don't think it went too well for me. It's always tough against that Marblehead defense. Who knows if Coach Rudloff is going to be there coaching the Signals or not, or maybe he'll be, hiding in the Green Monster like Manny Ramirez, calling him in via you know, walkie-talkie. There's a lot of jokes you could make about, maybe Coach Rudloff could reach out to Bobby Valentine and get the Groucho glasses there, and
Yeah.
they'd never know it was him, right? I hope that the guys in Marblehead are keeping it light, and we obviously wish all them the best, and we hope they're back as soon as possible and they work out all that business. But you can't go wrong with a Swampscott quarterback. Second most passing attempts on the North Shore, and I imagine that will continue. Of course, Mags of Peabody has more passing attempts, which I think, 10 years ago, if you'd said that, that probably would have been
Yeah.
pretty shocking. I think this is the third straight season, or maybe even fourth, that Peabody has led the area in passing attempts. So, but Swampscott, you can never go wrong with their quarterback. And we've spoken on the podcast many, many times about what a marvel Von Bart has been, and the job that Burgos and Sereno have done coaching him up. And
Yep.
so I'll
And I
stick
did
with.
get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. It is a small V.
Okay, great,
So
great. So
that
that's
that is
great. We're,
correct.
we're ready. So I got, I'll be at Fenway on Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be the second time I've seen a Marblehead Swampscott Thanksgiving game, and the first one was a classic, and now I've got both teams represented. So neither one of you can get mad at me.
I like it. I like it. Nikolai Volkov, you're up.
All right. I'm going to go to the Gloucester Danvers game, which I will be at for the first time on Thanksgiving at Newell Stadium. And I'm going to take a running back from Gloucester. Now, this is interesting because I'm tempted to take Jalen Severino, who has that big breakaway play ability, but he's been out with the concussion for the past month or so. He came back, but only to do kicking duties, and I'm not sure if he's going to play on the offense or not. He's had a few weeks off, so maybe, but too risky. Love what Jalen does out there, but I'm going to go with the workhorse, Joe Allen. He's
Mhm.
leading the Gloucester Fishermen in rushing this year. 125 carries, 800 yards. He's got 7 touchdowns. He's had some big games, and I think he's going to get his fair share of carries for that run heavy offense. So I'll take Joe Allen.
Interesting because we've talked before, and I'm sure we'll mention it in our Thanksgiving football podcast. But Gloucester has been shut out 3 straight years and 4 of the last 5 on Thanksgiving. So they're really looking to not only win but score some points in doing so. And Allen's a guy who could provide some offense for them.
Yeah, and like we talked about on the podcast last week, I think these guys are fired up just to be playing and being back out there. So last time they were out on the field, it didn't go so well for them against Shawsheen, and they want some redemption. Not only that, but they want to beat Danvers, like you said. So feel good about that. All right, do I get back to back here? Or?
Yeah,
You start off the 6th round.
All right, I got someone there. Got someone there. Let's see. You took my guy there. Hmm. Man, I'd love it if Pingree was included. Got some athletes there. Um, I haven't taken anyone from Marblehead. I got someone from Swampskid, so why don't we stick with that game?
Hmm.
And who'd you take for Didn't you take a wide receiver
I
from
took a
Marblehead?
Took
I think
Golden
Ryan
you took
John
Golden.
Ward
Golden.
Akini.
Yeah,
You're looking Marblehead. Sorry, I was
yeah, yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Marblehead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Give me. Hmm. It's a tricky one. I think Crew Monaco. Give me Crew.
Yep.
The captain.
That's the guy I was thinking about going with too. That's a
The
Yep,
great
same
pick.
here. I was kind
captain
of hoping he'd slide,
leading the
grab as
leading
a
the
flex.
Magicians in catches this year. And like we said, they might that might be a decent game over there at Fenway with some points being scored. So yeah,
And a dry night too.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, was hoping he would slide by for a flex, but that will not happen. Willie, to you.
I'm going to take a receiver here. Thought about taking a quarterback, but I'm going to fill up my receiver spot. You talk about touchdowns. This guy's tied for the North Shore lead in touchdowns with 9 touchdown catches. He's got a couple of 2-point conversion grabs too. The yardage not as much as some of these other guys, but he puts the ball in the end zone, and he's a big time third down threat. And it's Cal Weidman
Yeah.
from Masconomet, the junior. Can catch the ball on the sidelines, can go up and get it like nobody's business, and again is just a super threat inside the pylon. I think that's an absolute steal
He was
to
my
get a
next
guy with
guy.
9 touchdown grabs in the seventh round. I think it is
The problem for
or
taking Fabiano
sixth or
first is that you
seventh,
can't grab Weidman afterwards.
sixth round or seventh.
Yeah.
This is the sixth round.
Six. So that's a steal in the sixth. And that
It
is the
is.
problem. Like a guy like Gustafson now goes undrafted because, Nick's got his quarterbacks and you and I both took other Masco guys. So
Yeah.
just as a note for the guys watching, like we can only take a max of 3 guys a team. So, a lot of teams have a lot of really good players. So, don't take it personal. Sometimes it's just how things unfold here with the rules and the positions.
All right. Um, I am going to go off the board here and make what may be a shocking pick, but I'm going to choose my defense.
I don't hate it.
I had 3 defenses that I liked. I already have players from 2 of them, so I'm going to grab my third before I'm left scrambling for one that I'm not sure of. And I'm going with the Falcons, baby.
Wow, no faith in the fish, huh?
Not that there's no faith, but I look at the numbers. It's 3 straight shutouts. I mean, do I think there's going to be another shutout this year? I mean, not if my life depended on it, I would say no, but a Ryan Nolan team is always going to be good defensively, is always going to come up with some scheme that's going to confuse teams. And those the players, it's a defense predicated on toughness and multiple hats to the ball and all. No disrespect to Gloucester at all. I mean,
Yeah,
they're very
totally. I get it. You got
talented.
to pick a defense. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I mean, if it was a 21-14 game, I could live with that. But yeah, I'm going to take that defense now and have that done and out of the way. All right, so that leaves me a couple quarterbacks and a flex and a kicker. Okay. What have I taken? You know what? This guy's throwing for a lot of yards. I see him throwing a lot on Thursday. I'm gonna go with Danny Pierce and Beverly here. Got some nice receivers to throw the ball to, whether it's Cal McKay, Ray Quietek, or Liam Timponi, Jack Constantine. If Beverly's down in that game, you're going to see them throwing the ball, and they've had a lot of success throwing the ball, more so than running the ball this year. So, to get Pierce as my first quarterback in the seventh round, I like that. That's pretty
I
good.
think that could be a pretty good game too,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, I do too. Yeah. All right, Willie,
So
your
some
pick.
tough decisions here. That was kind of I kind of had Danny penciled in for QB2 there. So now I try to make a
But that's good,
decision.
right? That means we have a similar mindset for these things.
I got to make a decision here from another orange team. Now the question is, do I take the quarterback
Hmm.
or do I take a flex? And who's going to get more points
I know who
between
you're thinking, and both are really good choices.
these 2 guys? And I think thinking about some of my other options. This is difficult. This could burn me if it doesn't go well. But you know what? I'm going to take the quarterback. Give me Vin Winter from Ipswich.
I like it a lot.
Low yardage but high touchdowns. This
Yep.
this could honestly this could be the type of pick that either wins or loses this draft. I'm gonna live with that. That's okay. Um, you
He's got
know,
skills.
10th,
He's got
yeah, but
skills.
more yardage actually than I thought. 798 yards, 8 touchdown passes, very high completion percentage, only 85 attempts. So, I thought, well, I guess I shouldn't say the guy that I thought about, because one of you guys might might go ahead and grab him. But I'm very happy to lose Danny and go with another guy in orange, Vin Winter. And you know what? That's got to be like the coolest quarterback name that we have. I mean, that's cool. Vin Winter, like
Yeah.
that is straight out of a movie. That is cool.
Damon
Pretty
Runyon
good.
type story.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's great. All right, Nick, that is over to you with pick number 7 for your team for the Nighthawks.
All right. I need a wide receiver. Haven't gone to St. John's Prep yet. You already took Barlow, but Ricky Salvez catches some balls too.
Yeah, he
So,
does.
or Riley, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he's Ricky, but that's okay.
Ricky, Riley Salvez, and yeah, throw him on there at the WR2 for me. I like it.
Okay, so
350 yards
Willie can still
receiving on the
grab a
year.
St. John's Prep player. He's got some nice options there.
Indeed.
Okay. Start us off on the 8th round. We got 3 rounds to go. Nick, you start us off.
I'm gonna go defense.
Okay.
Now, who I'm gonna pick is up for debate. Hmm.
Well, let's see. You have
I can do Salem. I can do Ipswich, Hamilton Wenham. Didn't get anyone from Masco. Who's Masco playing again?
Northeast Tech.
Northeast Regional.
I will roll with the Chieftains for my defense
That's
there.
a pretty good pick. It was
Yeah,
on my
that's
list.
I think I kind of walked into that one and God, they had to be pretty high on the defensive list for
They were
games.
they
very
would have
high
been
on
my
my
number one
defensive
pick
list.
if had I
Yeah.
not taken Fabiano. Yeah.
Lock it in, baby.
All right, William.
All right, so my number one defense is actually still on the board, but I'm not going to take it because I don't have to because you guys can't. So now it comes down to flex or kicker. Now, do I have a bat phone? Can I reach Brian St. Pierre and can I look into my crystal ball and figure out what he's going to do? Because this is my choice. If he's going to go for two every time, I'm going to take the flex. If he's going to kick extra points, I'm going to take the kicker. They get the best kicker in the state,
Yes, they
and
do.
he doesn't kick extra points. So I'm going to go with the flex. Uh, and even though I'm afraid that there's going to be a lot of quarterback runs, and I almost took Deacon Robillard for that reason, I'm going to take. I'm going to lean towards the 2 point conversions, and I think this kid could have a big day running the ball outside as well. And it's Jordan Taribo, a
Toribio,
very
yeah.
speedy guy,
Yeah.
cousin of a great sprinter from Peabody that's running in college now. The girl there that set some records, Savannah Vargas. Fun fact there. So I will take Taribo. I think he's unstoppable on the 2 point conversions if that's the way the prep decides to go. And so, Coach Saint, if you're watching, I'm sorry, LJ, but you guys got to go for two.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Langdon. He's a great kid and he's a great kicker. He's not only the number one kicker in Massachusetts, he's the best kicker in New England, top rated kicker in New England.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's no guarantee what they're going to do here.
Yeah, we don't get fantasy points for touchbacks, so I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't
And
help
and if you're
us.
looking at a wet field, maybe it is better to go ahead. I mean, to me, the prep can pull out all the stops. This is it for them. Zavarian still has a Super Bowl game to play, so um, why not use some of those BFT packages down by the goal line? I think that's a good call, Willie. Okay, my 8th pick. So we all need a kicker. I need a quarterback and another flex. Nick, you need a flex and a flex as well. And Willie, you need a defense and a kicker. So I probably want to take a flex here, Nick, so you are not grabbing somebody I might want.
Figured you might.
Let's see here. Okay, so we can't take Jeff Quigley, which is a little bit of a bummer. He would have been a nice pick there. Um, hmm.
Yeah, you've got what teams have you got left? Peabody, Manchester, Gloucester,
Fenwick.
Fenwick. Fenwick would be some, you got some choices there that I like.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
know what? I'm actually going to
Ipswich.
take Aiden Silver as my kicker.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Um, because I can't take the prep. I can't take Swampscott.
Aiden
Um,
can kick field goals too. So
yeah,
that's a good pick.
and I'd like to use Marblehead in another spot, although I do like Finn Coughlin. I'm sorry, Finn Coughlin for Swampscott, Finn Bresnahan for Marblehead. Two kickers named Finn. What are the odds there?
Right.
Okay, so my
Seriously.
first kicker is there. What are we coming to here? I took a kicker before a quarterback or a flex. That's a little nuts, but hey,
But those are the
it is.
rules. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, you
You
gotta,
know,
it gets tough once you've already used your teams.
Yeah, I do have my quarterback that I can wait until the last pick to take, only because you guys have already filled your quarterback quota. So I don't have to take one there. It does seem to make more sense to take a flex here. And what did we say? All right, so Fenwick's out of the way. I can take Essex Tech. I can take Ipswich, Gloucester, Manchester, Marblehead, Peabody. Those there, huh?
a lot of
Okay.
choices.
That is a lot of choices. Um,
A lot of quarterbacks off the board at those schools, though. So you got to be careful.
I know. I'm looking at Peabody, and there's a lot of choices both in the backfield and the receiving core there.
Yeah, being where you got flex, you get you. That's a lot of choices there.
Yeah. Although, and I don't want to flip over to our football stats because it will, where I'm sharing the screen, it will move over. But I'm not sure that the Peabody guys, the backs don't catch a lot of passes. They're looking more at like Rappold and was it Jace John Pierre and guys like that. Am
Yeah,
I
that's. I mean, I
mistaken there?
could
They don't catch a lot of passes out of the backfield?
a few. I mean, so I mean, I can tell you. I can tell you. Let's see. Yeah, so Kaio has 7 catches, and Gabe only has 5.
Okay.
And
Actually,
yeah, Rap has 35 catches. Jean Pierre has 24 catches. He does lead them in touchdowns with 4.
okay. Um, I'm
Caillou
gonna
has
go
more rushing
against that
yards.
totally. I'm going against that. I'm going with Nick Branchiaforti.
Oof, you're in trouble. That was not. Ooh, boy.
Why?
Well, the teams you have left, I don't know if they have quarterbacks available. I think I thought you kind of had to take Jacoby, but that could be that could be trouble.
Nope, I got a plan. I'm
Oh,
good.
you do? Yeah, there is one team
Yep,
you've got. Yeah, you
I
do
got a
have one
plan.
choice there. You got one choice there.
I
That
got two
yep.
choices from that school.
I got to pick the right one though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Lead one of our leading receivers in the area for catches and volume, and does catch touchdown passes. If they're trailing the Hornets, they're going to be looking to throw. I thought you were going to tell me he was injured. I'm like, since when did that happen? But no, I'm going to go with Nick. Do me well, Nick. Do me proud.
Pretty
All right,
good.
Willie,
It's pretty
go
good.
ahead.
So Jacoby goes from
Yeah.
almost my second round pick to not being picked. That's how the winds of chains can go in this draft. But again, my number one defense is going to be on the board in the last round. So maybe it'll fire them up that they're in the last round. So I'm going to grab my kicker here. I'm going to grab him out of the game. And it's a tough decision because Maverick has a better name. But Fionn has better numbers. You talk about school records for Rocco Ryan. I mean, it's been a long time since Salem's had a kicker as consistent as Fionn Coughlin. 28 PATs
Finn.
on the season.
That's
He's
Finn.
right up there with the leaders in the area. I think he ranks fourth or fifth among the kickers. In fact, that's right. He is tied for third in PATs in the region. So I will take Fionn Coughlin at Salem as my kicker. Probably not a big threat for field goals, but I like the PATs. I think that's going to be another high scoring game.
Okay, Nick, your final two picks on the board.
All right. Well, kicker. I like this one. I think he's going to get some extra points, may get a chance at a field goal for the Falcons. Connor Ackerman.
Great
Yeah, I,
pick.
I like that pick.
He's having a good year. I don't know how many, he's pretty consistent with his PATs. I know that.
No,
Yep,
no
great
C,
pick.
right? In Connor, in Ackerman, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Correct. Yeah,
correct.
it's Acre, not Acker. Gets
Ackerman.
yeah, they're particular about that.
Ackerman, okay.
My apologies. And Connor, does it have
I think
two?
it's just the one N, I think.
Okay. All right. So then I need a flex, and I've
Yep.
got let's see, what Ipswich available, Beverly.
Yeah, you get some good choices, Nick.
Hmm. Pick someone from Fenwick. Oh, we got Ipswich, Beverly, Hamilton, Wenham. Am I missing anyone?
Salem, you could take.
Salem.
Yeah, I think that's
I think you
four.
get
They
two,
give you
Nick, that
six available.
be really good for you. Of course, I'm not
Yeah.
going to give you those, but
Ipswich, Hamilton, Salem. Yeah. Yeah, Essex Tech.
Essex Tech.
yeah.
Hmm.
Hamilton Wenham.
Yeah. I know. I'm between two guys here. Hmm. I think I'll go I think I'll go Salem. And I think I will go with Elvis Espinal.
Okay.
Good pick. Very good pick.
He's going to get his touches, you know. He's got three rushing touchdowns on the year. Another one receiving, two receiving. And I know Quinn gets most of the work there, but he's uh he's a guy that can churn out some yards. I've seen him. He's a hard runner.
I feel like he really reemerged in these last two games for them too, which is big.
Yep, true, true.
By the way, if I spelled Branchiaforte right, that's Branci, right? Not A.
Yeah,
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 Okay.
that's
that's
right.
right.
Yep.
Willie, can I put in your hyphenated name here?
Uh,
Your defense?
who, what do you mean?
Go ahead. Make your pick.
Well, I'm going with the Tanners from Peabody, the
Oh,
number
okay.
one, my
Okay.
my number one rated defense. I don't know who you thought.
I thought maybe you were going to go for Hamilton Wenham.
Ipswich is. I got Vin Winter, the QB man. I can't be doing
True.
that.
It's true.
But no, I mean Peabody was the top scoring defense last year on Thanksgiving. I think they got a pretty good chance to be that again today on Thursday. You know, Jace Jean Pierre has five interceptions on the season. You got Festa and Mastrocola in the middle. Dooley coming off the edge. I just think it's a chance to cause some turnovers, have a low points. I mean, I think six of the last 8 years or something like that. I think they've produced a defensive touchdown. Maybe it's not that many. Maybe it's like 4 of 8, but I can picture quite a few in my head. So I like the chances for them to put up some pretty good defensive points. I think that could be a steal in the final round.
Okay, so to me, for the last pick, I'm going to go with Marblehead. And this is tricky because they do alternate quarterbacks. And I wonder, are they going to play the senior more, Colt Wales? Are they going to go with the junior, Finn Gallup, and give him the same amount of equal playing time that he's had? Uh, I'm going to go with Gallup. And I realize that could be a risky pick. He is the junior. I think Colt is very talented, but something just tells me Gallup could help his team, both with his legs and his arm, in what I think could be a high-scoring game. And that's what I'm going to go with, and that's what we'll wrap up with. So those are the teams. If you remember right, not you can't have anybody more than one player from the same team, one player or one defense. So, gentlemen, what do we think right off the bat of our teams here? Look at your team. Nick, what do you think?
I love it. I love it. I got pretty much, well, a couple guys that I would have liked, but in terms of picking the talent from the teams that I went with, I feel good about it.
All right. And here's hoping, obviously, that Henry Butler plays Wednesday. He left the Swampscott semifinal on Saturday in the first half with an injury and didn't return, but he was going to be evaluated, and hopefully he'll be ready for that game.
Now, if he doesn't play, can I make a last minute swap or what are we doing? Can I get the backup Swampscott running back?
No,
This would have been nice to know ahead of time.
you got to read the paper. Willie, how about your team?
I get it. A lot of boomer bust, I feel like. A lot of boomer bust. But I expect big, big things from Shanbar and Gilbert. And the rest of the guys, it kind of depends on where the ball goes. Some of these guys are on teams that spread it around, so you kind of got to get a little lucky. That's the case with touchdown dependent receivers. But I would say it's a boomer bust. I mean, if it booms, we're gonna get a lot of points.
I'm happy if Gilbert rushes for a bunch of yards, but my receiver scores the touchdowns. That would be nice, you know. I also think I had some, am I t making a mistake by not taking Tarasuik? And we can talk about guys that weren't picked. We had a few of those last year that really exploded on Thanksgiving. But should I have gone with a marblehead receiver in the flex and pick Tarasuik as my quarterback? I don't know. But I like my team. I'm definitely comfortable with my running backs and my receivers and my flex. I think my top five are all pretty good picks. I like my defense, and Aiden Silva's a good kick quarterback. I'm hoping my quarterbacks can come through. Um, Off the top of our head, guys, we mentioned Tarasuik. I think Willie, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but Massey Pinsky for Ipswich
Yeah, he was high
might
on
have
my
been a really
board.
nice flex pick
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
someone. Um,
it was between
Nick,
him
what
and Vin.
about Thomas Cribbs? I considered
Yeah,
as a
he was
running
another
back.
guy too. He's a real hard runner, tough to bring down. He's going to get those goal line carries too for him. So
Yeah,
it could come back to bite me. I mean, but I feel confident with Joe Allen. He's had a nice year.
either of the Santos boys running for Peabody, or either of their top receivers, Rappold and John Jace Pierre that we mentioned earlier. I'm trying to think. Oscar Fernandez for Salem.
I thought Quiet Tech would have been an interesting pick. He was high on my flex list. I
That's who I
like him
thought Nick
to.
might take with his flex there, but he went with Espinal.
He's a big touchdown threat. I mean, I don't think a lot of volume. You might get a point or two off interceptions with him too. He's pretty good on defense, but
Well, he's
definitely a
fast.
touchdown
I mean,
threat.
he's a sprinter. He's an
Yeah.
excellent sprinter in the outside of football season. So,
Yeah, we don't have too many
and
kick
another
return
guy who's
guys
come
out
on
there.
really well lately. I feel like could have been a sneaky flex play is Mike Albano in Danvers.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
the captain, since he's been healthier later in the season, he's catching passes, he's running the ball, taking a load off of Shanbar's plate when needed. Trying to think who else here.
I like Manchester receiver Jarrett Croft has had a couple nice games in a row to end the year. He had a ridiculous catch last game out in against St. Mary's, a one-handed touchdown grab on like a Hail Mary, and then he ended up with three touchdowns in that game. So he's a guy that I think if Manchester throws the ball, Hurd will be looking his way, and he's a tall guy, big target. He could have been a nice pick too.
Yeah, and the Caulfield kid out of the backfield is not bad either for Manchester Essex. He also could have been. I know it's Hurd's show first and foremost, but he's
Yep,
a nice complimentary back there.
yep, Garfield, yep, he is.
I mean, hey, last year, is another guy, Jay Domlowitz or Nikeelan Davis for Swamps
Yeah.
with two other receivers. Jesse Timpson is a guy for Fenwick that I thought really could have had appeal as a flex player. And Braden Clifford wasn't selected for quarterbacks. Neither. I mean, God, we haven't even talked about. You mentioned Deacon Roblox, but Chris Vargas, second in the area in touchdowns and I'm sorry, second in touchdowns and second in yardage. the freshmen. It's just that's how it is when there's so many talented options at St. John's Prep to
Well,
go
I mean,
for.
again, I thought about it, but I thought about Robillard too, but you just don't know like what they're, with Deacon, you're looking for rushing touchdowns because they're gonna, they're not gonna have Chris being a battering ram there on the tush
No,
push plays, and I went with Taribo. Maybe they have to go off the edge. Severian's gonna be prepared for the play in the middle, so you sneak around the other end. But that was really kind of the choice. Not super dissimilar from Gallup and Walls for Marblehead. Now I know the prep doesn't split the snaps the way Marblehead does, but they do split the plays kind of inside that 10-yard line.
yeah, they
You always
do.
kind of have to be,
I mean, they
you
could
know,
even go direct snap to a Gael Garcia.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he could have been
I,
an interesting flex pick. Senior year,
Well,
you
when
figured
you
they're gonna
mentioned the prep, I thought maybe that's where you were going was Garcia.
that kid runs a spider two wide banana like you read about, man.
Well, if I'm just looking at these teams, I would have to say that Willie, I might give you the edge going into the holiday, and that kills me to say.
I mean, it's nice to be in the middle. It helps to be in the, that's where the best stuff goes in the
Hey, last
sandwich.
year I won it picking last, so you never know. But I think all three of us have good teams, but Willie, yours is very balanced. I like it, but we shall see. We'll add them up.
now let me get an injury exception if Bueller doesn't play. Let me slide Bush in
Eh,
there as his backup. If Bueller doesn't go a game time call, let me slide Bush in there.
Then you know what, man? I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
What?
yeah, hey,
If you're
if
setting your
Fabiano
fantasy
doesn't go,
lineup at
then
home,
Bill's
if you're
going to be in
setting it at
trouble.
home, you wait until the game time, then you slide the guy in if he doesn't play. I think I
And we
should
didn't
get a
pick a
injury.
bench. We did not pick a bench.
Unreal.
And Will Bush left with an injury.
Ah, jeez.
They went with the freshman Jamison O'Keefe, who actually did pretty well.
All right. Well, let's hope Butler plays. I'll ride it
I
out.
bet he plays. I bet he plays. I mean, come on, Fenway, you can do everything you can to get out there and play.
Yeah. No, I
And
think
and
you're
if he just got dinged and they were down big already to Fairhaven, they said, you know what, we're going to get you ready for Thanksgiving. It's going to be precautionary.
yeah, it's a good
Um,
point.
y- you know,
It's
hey,
just gonna be tough to take a zero in there if he doesn't go. But all right, it is what it is.
it is what it is. All right, and with that, that is the end of our second annual fantasy football Thanksgiving picks. Watch and see how we do on Thanksgiving. Tell us who you think the best team is. Love for you to tweet at us and let us know which team you think is best. Who did we forget? Who are we idiots for not picking? How did you forget Massimo Pinsky or whoever? Let us know. I love that stuff. I know last year on Thanksgiving I was accosted by several people wondering how, so and so from Salem wasn't taken in the Beverly Salem game or whatever. And if I remember right, the fullback had a couple of touchdowns for Salem last year. So, hey, it's all fun, and that's why we do it. And we can't predict the weather or injuries or anything like that. But we're just looking for good games and for a little bragging rights here amongst each other and what we do. So, gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow for our Thanksgiving football preview podcast. Until then, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families, and we will talk to you later on.